And as promised, here we are again, literally just around the corner, because of course it was a slightly late start to the first tie this afternoon, and therefore we are moving swiftly into this, which is Serdang versus Petaling. And joining me in the commentary box, and we'd like to thank, of course, Ng Wei Lin for joining us for the first one. Donald Spears back with me. Don, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks.
Did you catch any of that fantastic performance from City again, 18-3?
It's an incredibly commanding performance. What we see with City is that their top players are very competent. They've got strength and depth across the team. Maybe not some of the biggest stars, but they certainly are very effective.
Deliver. Yeah, that's the thing. So it was actually those 3 games just in the first and last. But as we look at the order of play for this, Kenichi Tago has made his appearance. He's been in the news recently, as well. Of course, he's been sparring around here as well. You didn't play him, did you?
No,
I've got to ask this question now every time.
No, it's a real pleasure to have him here in the Kopiko Purple League. He is one of the most respected and admired players on the circuit at the moment.
Let's bring on the next group of players for the next tie. First, ladies and gentlemen, representing Serdang BC, your captain, Tan Kian Mei. Sim Guo Zheng. Chang Yi Jun. Amelia Alicia Ansley. Tan Yip Jun. Lim Jen Ting. Lee Jian Yi. Go Jun Wei. So Wui Yik. Your coach, Andy Kaur Bakar. And manager, Ong Yu Hong. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring on Petaling BC. Your captain, Iskandar Zulkarnain Zainuddin. Xia Chun Kang. Chen Jiaho. Tika Ariera Ningrum. Ardiansha Putra. Go Visham. Chen Tangjia. Birenta Ekar Karupatevan. Kenichi Tago. Coach Romy Arno. And manager Lieutenant Colonel Wong Ajit. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the 2 teams facing off in this tie. Serdang BC and Petaling BC. All right, team captains, please lead your players to their seats. All right, and we're gonna get the managers over. All right, we are on court right now with the managers of both clubs for this tie. First, let's chat with Serdang BC boss Ong Yu Hawk. Now, the other clubs have been shopping for new players everywhere. What about Serdang BC?
I'm putting a few youngsters from Malaysia because according to our plan for Serdang BC, we try to put our youngsters. So I putting one is 14 years old and 15 years old.
14 and 15, very young. Now, during the break, did you learn anything from the first half of the season that you can use for the second half of this season?
Yeah, we will mix around and then we'll put whatever the stronger team that what we have. So today we will put it mixed team will be some senior and juniors. Yeah.
I like that. Now over to Petaling BC boss Lieutenant Colonel Wong. Now it looks like Petaling BC has been very, very busy. What happened? Because we know what's going on court. What happened behind the scenes during the break?
Well, we are looking for new players, and then we managed to bring in the two big names. Of course, one is Kenichi Tago is here today, and next one will be Jorgensen, and we have one local lady player, a woman player, young girl, 17 years from Selangor. That was the plan for this second half of the first season.
Now you mentioned Kenichi Tago. He's playing the first singles. What can the fans expect to see?
Well, I'm sure it's the first time playing in this KPL Purple League. He's looking forward, and in fact, he was the one said he would like to play, and then I'm sure he will not disappoint the fans.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Wong, Ong Yu Hawk. Let's shake hands one more time, and let's get this match on the road. Back to you in the iBook Court commentary box.
Well, you just heard it there. Big names still turning up at the KPL Purple League. It's not just at the beginning of the season. Jana Jorgensen, an unnamed female player, will be turning up as well. But for now, we'll have to make do with this superstar, Kenichi Tago, making his debut in the KPL Purple League. And I myself think he's not going to have any problems.
I can't see any difficulties for Kenichi Tago in this game. The only possible chink in the armor may be his speed of movement around the court, where So Woo Yik is a known doubles player, very fast, very young, so he'll have to try and exploit that. But Kenichi Tago is so powerful, so experienced, and so skillful as well. It's almost impossible to see anything other than a victory here, if not a 3-love.
And that whole 11-point system, well, with him, of course, he's got the ability to run that 11-point sprint, as we heard at the beginning, right at the beginning, very easily. So if he does get into his game,
yes,
should be unstoppable.
And of course, Kenichi Tago is such a deceptive player because even when he's in full top gear, he looks so relaxed on the court, such a casual approach. But don't be deceived, he's incredibly powerful. He can play any shot at any time from anywhere on the court. And so that's his big strength.
He's now played some of those shots against the biggest and the best names in badminton as well. So absolutely unfazed. And according to his manager, raring to go.
But what a great chance for So to play against one of the world's best players in recent years.
Where the fans of Serdang BC!
Of course, coming off the back of success at the Thomas Cup.
Where the fans from Petaling BC! Let's get to it.
So we are about ready. Serdang with that now unique strip of theirs. I still haven't found a name or a term to identify the sleeves at all. It's blue with colors.
Floral,
yes,
floral
it's
pattern.
floral. It's floral and blue. That's right, Donald. You found the words again perfectly.
I think it's designed to confuse the opponents.
in high explosive rallies, that's what will take your eye off the focus. But has been doing them quite well. They of course won the Rookie Cup right before the league. There was a weekend of action, kind of taster, I suppose. But then they did find the actual running of the league a little bit more difficult. And unlike Puchong and Muar City, who have now for certain enforced their credentials as being the top two contenders, there were a few people that thought that perhaps because it was an inaugural event and it was the first time it was run, that there was circumstances that could have led to those big wins that put them up on top of the league in the first phase, but definitely they've come out in the second phase, and in their first matches, they've again repeated the performance and isolated themselves up at the top two. As of now, as the table I just saw, they are not tied, because don't forget, at the end of the first phase of play for the KPL Purple League, Puchong United and Muar City had both won 61 games, and the only difference was the fact that Muar City had lost 2 more. Puchong had lost 30, Muar City had lost 32. And if you think about those big wins that they had, the 18-4s, and if that had been 18-2, then it would have been down to points. It does look like they're going to be the dark horses.
Serdang BC, represented by Petaling BC local play.
And as you said, Donald, so Wuyik with everything to prove. And nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's nothing to lose as well, but he will be happy that Ong Yu Hock is in his corner, because of Ong Yu Hock is, along with Samuel Nason, known to be one of the best tacticians in this game. We've seen him cajoling his players, giving them encouragement, instructions.
And we've already seen the power of Kenichi Tago. He absolutely murdered that first point.
Yeah, but that's an interesting response from So, not phased, and if there is a weakness in Tago, it's maybe he's going to go for the all-out attack, and a quick defense, flicking to the other side of the court might win So some points here.
And some crucial ones would be the ones he needs. Turning points in the game that might just upset the solidity of Tago's game, but as you said, he is such an all-round player, and it's going to take some really good shots. And that's going to be the difference as well. The fact that the big stars have spent a lot of hours not just training, but on proper performance courts to erase that unforced error stat and just tighten up their game. And some of the youngsters, of course, haven't quite got there yet.
Yes, they've not had the time or the chance really to play the thousands and thousands of shots to get the perfection. But it's an encouraging start from So, because one error on the smash, but as Sam Nason was saying earlier, you might as well make an error on an attacking shot.
Yes.
And this is a very bright start from So indeed.
That was good movement. He was moving towards the net, just cutting down the response time. And that will work against anyone if you can get it right.
It's a delightful lob from Tago.
There's that jump smash, and look how quickly he gets back to the net. Well, what's interesting about Kenichi Tago is that of course, his manager said he was raring to go. We haven't seen him start slowly. Most of the other stars that have turned up have just the first 2 or 3 points just moved into it, but he's literally been.
Yes, I think he may have been advised by his new teammates at Petaling that Purple League, you can't afford to warm up. You need to start winning points straight away.
Well, that was one shot that he's going to be pulling in a little bit.
And especially younger players, we notice as well, they tend to be quicker into the top gears just like that. This is really encouraging from So. You know, So is actually a young player, 19 years old, but he's pretty tall, so he can reach a lot and surprise his opponent from time to time.
Well, there's that. Then he has to pick up his returns. Those Tago smashes and drives are going to be coming in very fast and very steep.
And with that power in his wrist, Tago can just, at the last minute, decide if he's going to lob or smash. It's very difficult to see either shot coming. He just elected cross-court lob and then followed up with a smash.
The unpredictability in attack and the solidity in defense.
Nice net shot coming forward from So. Put it in the middle of the court, makes a option to go left or right for Tago, and
he has started exceptionally well. 6-4 in the lead.
that's in. Nice and precise. That's what I'm talking about, the power in the wrist. Just pushing it to the baseline and the sideline.
Now you would expect, of course, over the course of the match that the fitness levels, especially of Kenichi Tago, and the conditioning he's had by having to prepare for international tournaments, would mean that he probably, if it does go to anything more than 3 games, 4-5, he'd probably come out on top. But then, as Inghui Lin, who's just in the commentary box with me, was saying, the fire and drive and passion of the youngsters has taken them very far in a lot of games. So, and remember that So doesn't have to win this. And he doesn't actually have to win a game either. He would, by winning a game, of course, he would be helping his club. But even if he just responds to a full strength, fully tactical Kenichi Tago shot with his own guile, with his own response, that will be recognized and that will be remembered.
And he's really causing some difficulties for Tago at the moment. Very nice to see. Nice deception there on the net shot.
Well, he got back well for that one.
And you see Tago again in position just to punch a backhand, which So had to take from behind his body and couldn't keep it in.
And he almost knew the direction that So would be running in, so he placed it just behind him, made him take that one step back. And that, in the end, just took him off his accuracy a tiny bit, but still unfazed.
Very nice cross-court smash from So. Put Tago under pressure, full stretch to get it back.
So
And then he was in position to cross. And he's happy with himself for that one.
I think already a lot of people would be surprised with the scoreline. Kenichi Tago is ahead, 8-7. But based on the tail of the tape, possibly it shouldn't be that way.
And So is really keeping his composure. Unlucky there on the net shot, but he's moving very nicely backwards and forward, very light on his feet. And his smashing, attacking play has been precise. Jeevan, when you were 19, did you have a composure to play against one of the world's top badminton players? I certainly didn't.
Donald, I still haven't got composure now, okay? I can just about spell the word. But it's true. It's one of the new factors you need, I suppose, in the evolution of the game, is that mental focus side of things, coupled with, you know, exceptional shot making, has become a centerpiece of all of it. And I think one of the things that the Copa Purple League has done is directly put in conflict the hardwired training from the old badminton style against this fire and enthusiasm of the youngsters. So, you know, you will get some really bad shots, you get some really good shots. But the fact is, it's all experience. Tago's literally not having to move that much at all. A few steps here, a few steps there. Well, the net has decided that one.
Take the net.
But he was just bouncing around the middle of that court.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's again one of the things that's very deceptive about Tago. He's actually quite not very tall, but he's certainly not short, and he fills the court with steps and quite deceptive movement. He's not a runner. He's not a real athletic player, but he does cover the ground very well.
Right. The end result is the shot gets covered, and he gives himself options.
Closing out the first game.
So it did go his way. 11-8 probably would have surprised a few people, especially at the fact that So was in the lead up to the 7th point. And that makes it 1-0 on the tie. And I can tell you now, Donald, that just now, that performance by Moa City was incredible. It was 15-1 moving into the 5th match. And if it wasn't for those, it could have been an 18-1 easily. But then Maki Chun and Tan Bin Chen, for some reason, took the foot off the pedal just for those 2 middle games. And unbelievably unexplained as well. But it wasn't their usual smash fest that we've come to know, and it definitely wasn't an injury. So good that Bangsa managed to take some games away from it, but 18-3 I think is still the best that we've seen. 18-4 was the score that rang out my mind from the first phase. And I do apologize, of course, not knowing he's off by heart, but there's so many numbers now. And there's so many scores that have come in from the pure volume of badminton that gets played. I was actually just talking to Hui Lin about the injury to Ting Jingyi yesterday.
Yes.
And how she was saying as well that if that had happened during a tournament, then at least she can recover and rest from it. But had she aggravated that knee even more during that match and had to play next week and then the week after, then very serious injuries you can pick up in badminton.
Of course, the knee is a particularly critical area for any badminton player.
Yeah, and so Samuel, he was here earlier, and he has confirmed that she's well on the way back. She's obviously being rested, and that knee is getting all the treatment it needs. But during game time, I did ask him a couple of pertinent questions, by the way, Donald, as to well, whether he wanted Bangsa Hawks to win because he was actually second in the table, which he refused to answer, I might add.
Very diplomatic.
Very diplomatic. In the end, I haven't seen him recently because looking at that score, 18-3, he's probably got a lot of extra things to think about.
Look at that precision from Tago at the net.
And that was daring from So. Go for that backhand cross court.
Well, he had to get himself out of trouble there, but unfortunately Tago was experienced to just keep pressuring on the backhand side, and in the end an easy kill.
And right now I can tell you that this is a fight for 8th and 9th place in the league.
Yes, Petaling and Serdang have had a slow start to the season.
Well, Serdang, of
But
course,
one of these clubs may well end up in the drop zone, not making the final. So actually, this is a pretty key fixture for them both.
I was just about to say, the top 8 of the 12 will make it to the Champions Challenge. You might think that's far off, but it isn't at all. It's actually just next month. We'll be up in Genting Highlands. The top 8 teams will get there. And currently you're watching 8 versus 9. Serdang, of course, winners of the Rookie Cup. And they went into the league all guns blazing, but as you said, came across a few troubles. I'll say a few troubles because, well, as we know, Nusa Jaya and Bangsa Hawks had the most troubles. But so far, so good.
Wrong. As expected, So has been making more of the errors in open play, because he is a young player, but
it's his attitude towards them, which is...
Is it pretty, let's say, quite a worthy rally, moving his opponent around and almost catching him out with a cute drop shot.
I mean, we saw just now in the previous tie, Tai Tzu Ying literally have an exhibition match against her opponent because she was so much more skilled that she was in total control. And I think what So's done so far already has been interesting enough for the neutral, for Serdang's fans especially. He's giving it his all.
And So is really working the backhand side of Kenichi Tago. I wonder if he has identified that as a weak side, if Tago has a weak side.
And remember that Kenichi Tago would have walked in. This is his first match of the Kopiko Purple League. And maybe, possibly, he was thinking, well, you know what? I'll breeze through this one. And he certainly has been doing that so far. He's in the lead, yes.
And that's a good example where So has been effective in this match. He has pushed behind Tago a couple of times, scored points that way. He needs to use that speed of his to get to the shuttle early, and then somehow get it past Tago, who struggles back of the court.
He is giving a few shots away now. The unforced errors total, as you said, 5 up, 9-4 currently to So.
Oh, lovely drop shot.
Beautiful drop shot, absolutely fantastic.
As you say, So has got some length in his arms, and he just reached up with a delightful cross-court chop that was inch perfect.
I'm just thinking that's a pretty daring shot to play, I have to say.
He made it look very easy though, very easy.
Yeah, it's not, we've seen a lot of respect shown to these icons that have turned up, these big stars. So when you do see shots like that played, it's good to know.
Tago quick onto that serve.
Looking at the rest of the tie, it's obvious Tan Kan Meng, the captain of Serdang, will be looked at to pick up some points. It could be difficult against Iskander Zulkarnain. And possibly in the mixed doubles as well, they could pick up some. But Govi Shem is who they'll be facing. Men's doubles, Aransha Putra, Zulkarnain, Chen Jia. Lots more to come, and as we heard before the match, Jan Jorgensen and more players on the way.
And that's where Tago is very dangerous. If there's anything which is not inch perfect from So, Tago will just pounce just like that overhead smash.
And that might be the factor that actually erodes the fire of youth in the end. The fact that keeps happening. And you'll find your limit at some point.
Good response from So, finding the front of the court again.
Oh, wow.
Didn't go over.
It didn't go over. For a second, I thought Tommy Sugiata was right there. I thought that was his classic shot. And now we just know for certain that he's probably the only person that can play that shot. But still, good intent. Good spirit. And good shots.
Yes, finally, all that pressure on the backhand side.
It's paid off.
Gets some reward for So.
And not just a reward, it's a goal, it's a gilt-edged reward, because not only did he score that point, he saw Tago on the floor. That's, to a young player, that has got to be it.
I mean, tell his friends he had,
he had him on the floor.
Tago jumping after him. But that may just
could have been
Tago the incentive to be ruthless in this match. He's only got 2 more points to win the second game.
Well, I just don't think that Kenichi Tago, when he got out of his car, or whatever transport he took to get to the stadium, thought he'd be flat on his face on the court in the second game. I think he was expecting a much more easier run. That's captain Iskander will be coming on later on against the other captain, Tan Kan Meng. I said that's going to be a key match in this tie. But Petaling have made sure they've put strength throughout their lineup. Govi Shem in the men's doubles, Ardian Chaputra in the mixed doubles, Iskander in the men's singles. So we've got a good closing run. Both of these clubs, of course, will be hoping for a very big win, as it will take them out of the 8th, 9th area. Most probably, and this is just an estimate, take them into the 6th, 5th area. Oh, great returns.
It's good pressure from So. He knows he's not going to be able to overpower Kenichi Tago with his first smash, but if you get it precise, then he can start following up, which is exactly what he did. Kept the head pressured with the follow-up smashes and force the error.
You're right, Donald. It is floral.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it is. That's the first close-up that we've had of it. It's definitely floral. And very Malaysian, actually. It's a very batik-inspired kind of stuff. We like to see that. There is a local flavor to pretty much everything of the Kopiko Purple League, because it is supposed to relate back directly to not just the badminton community, but increasing the badminton community as well. And it's so good to see so many fans turning up for these matches and match days at the Sports Arena Sentosa, and watching some great games. We saw Chong Wei Feng with a compelling performance yesterday, marvelous to watch. Meanwhile, Tago 11-8, 11-8. 19 minutes it's taken him.
Yes, I think what's telling in the first two matches is that although So has been scoring points, and 11-8 is quite respectable, he's never been ahead in the match.
Yeah.
And Kenichi Tago has always kept a few steps ahead of him, even when he's been under pressure.
But he can take consolation at least, and reward, as you said, in some very well-placed shots, which have definitely, as we look at some of the analysis. So this is a compilation of basically the 6 points won and the 6 points lost for So, and as you can see, he's definitely having a go at it. I mean,
It's
a lot. All three
a lot of
areas
points
of the
lost,
court.
pushing past, and
Yeah,
know,
those three at the bottom definitely. And I think when it comes down to it, you can there's so many ways you can read into that, but I kind of saw that there is a plan. He's got a plan going.
Yes,
I don't know if that plan is audacious enough to think that he's going to walk away with the win, but
yes, I think I'd like to see So trying to push and jab past Tago a bit more. He seems to have been a little bit vulnerable at the back of the court with a fast, flat shot, and try and draw Tago forward a little bit with some nice net play, which we know So can do, and then just jab it past him. He's been effective and scored a few points that way, but I wonder if that's the strategy that Ong Yu Hok is encouraging him to follow.
and whether it's going to be enough.
Oh,
Well, he
powerful
was,
start, straight away.
Straight to the body, and he saw that So had to stretch a little bit for that early return. It really does come down to the most minute details to make sure that these shots are accurate, unless of course you're world number 1, in which case you can pretty much do whatever you like. Even former world number 1s, as we saw with Tan Boon Hyung yesterday, whose bad performance was a 3-0 win. That's great. That's more
perfect
like
from
it.
So.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do. Tago will have a tendency to try and control the rally and play a soft, fast, soft. But if So can just jump forward and nip in,
Spin it the other side.
and then just put him under pressure, he'll get points. And that's a great example of what he needs to do in this match. That will really make Tago wake up.
A crucial part as well. As it's got him on the scoreboard. Oh, well, that was the kind of trade-off that you'd only really expect.
Yes, we see 15 unforced errors, or so-called unforced errors from So compared to 4 in Kenichi Tago. And this is...
When trying to estimate, roughly speaking, I think your professionals would probably live with about 10, maybe 11 unforced errors. And that's just a rough estimate from what we've seen. 15, I mean, I don't even know if young players even think about their unforced errors, because to them it's about attacking. But it is, it's a massive leak in your game if you do.
Yes, yes, it's all about discipline. And again, I mean, Tago only having four errors in the whole match is quite astonishing, really. And that just shows you how much they practice. Tago was on the courts, I think I saw him on Friday and Saturday, no, Thursday and Saturday, I can't remember, but he was here very early playing with all the Petaling players.
That was on the net. It actually went World Wide Web. I saw that, and I said he's made an appearance before this one, and he has been showing off some of these skills. Now we're seeing them in competition. Now that's the first time we've actually seen him flailing wildly in the air, because it was another deft shot played by So.
Quick, he has to be quick at the net. He's got to use that youth and speed of foot.
And also get that angle right as well, because that angle was the exact angle he needed to cause the confusion. No easy task to do that continuously. But I think based on this performance, I'd like to see him win a game. It would be good for So if he could.
It's nice to see that he's not, again, just not losing the head. He's thinking all the time,
Yeah.
how can I get into this match? Maybe he's thinking too much on that shot.
And that was Gobi Shem there. That's Chen Zhao. Who is the other mixed doubles female player that has impressed with her versatility. We saw, of course, the first one put in another impeccable performance just now. Chao Mei Kwan.
Into the backhand side again. Oh, very tight net shot. That's a chance. And he takes it. Yes.
And it was bang on the money.
You just, when you see that shuttle tumbling, that's when you know it's tight. And that was inch perfect. So was in trouble, had to lift, and Tago makes no mistake down the line.
Absolutely no mistake.
Thank you.
And I think that was a reminder to So of the margins that he is playing with. There is Dato Jack Ko, man behind all of this. And Kopigo Purple League, it's taken him just over a year to realize his dream. And that dream has been, I can tell you now, making a massive impact. Malaysia has definitely paid attention to it. Crowds have loved it.
Oh, it's been called in by the line judge. Tago's asking.
Service over.
He's questioning it.
Oh, this is interesting.
Maybe we'll get a replay.
And yeah, he's smiling.
Even the scorer thought it went the other way. May have just clipped the line. Very difficult to tell.
You just saw the surprise on his face.
Yeah, he's like he's been shot.
It's like, who needs Hawkeye when you've got Kenichi Tago?
Yeah.
You could just have him reacting to shots like that. That would be great. But that at least proves that he honestly believes. And there was
But he knows it was a key point actually. Now
Yeah,
we're
it was.
4-6
It
instead
really
of
was.
7-3. So
I mean, line judges, even in the previous tie, were called into question.
when I say from
Hill.
So
Now, play to the body. I was
Take
actually going
that.
to suggest he goes the other way.
So has been pressuring on the backhand side. He tried something different there, went straight for the body to good effect.
All in all, he's done very well. But it would be great for him. It would be great for Serdang Badminton Club as well. If he could take... Oh, it's the second time he's on the floor. Oh, no. Maybe that was it. Maybe he saw Tago on the floor and then that was what went wrong.
So Woi Yik still believes.
Yeah.
And with composure like that, why not?
Oh, wow. Kenichi Tago very much the... I'm trying to think of the tennis player who used to do that. There was a French tennis player, and Jimmy Connors used to do a lot of that
Henri
as well.
Lecomte, I think.
Henri
I used
Lecomte.
to watch him every summer as well.
Lecomte. He was a show in himself.
Steven, you're showing your age.
Yes, well, at some point it's going to happen. Henri Lecomte, that's right. But it's good to see. I mean, it fits the whole colourful, exciting new atmosphere of badminton if you've got a character like Kenichi Tago there as well.
I mean, So is doing all the right things. He's playing some shots that would overcome a lesser opponent.
Yeah.
Straight that net shot was delightful, but Tago's cool, moves back and finds a gap.
More importantly, doesn't put too much power on it. Made sure it would make the lines. These are very difficult shots that Tago is firing at. So now.
Well, the first time in the match, So is now looking across at his corner saying, I've tried everything.
Yeah, I've done everything.
And I'm still behind. But credit to him, he's still in this third game.
Now, that is out. It kind of looked like it was good. It's a great idea, it's a great plan. I think you probably need about another 3 or 4 years experience to pull that off perfectly. But he has played some daring shots already, so why not? He's unfazed. He's unfazed and he forced the error.
Absolutely. Tago standing back, holding his racket out in front. And jabbing, but so not getting up. An uncharacteristic error from Kenichi Tago.
On New York is literally on the edge of his seat. You cannot see it, but he's literally sitting on the edge of his seat. I think he believes that he could get a game out of this. Oh, that would have been the key point. That would have led to that dream. And that came back so low over the net. So, we have match point. 3 of them, 11-8, 11-8, and this could be 11-7.
It's called in. Again, it's that push to the back of the court where Tago has been vulnerable. And that's just on the line.
Yeah, it's just on the line. That's in.
It's in.
Very nice shot. Look, he's just playing the points in the forecourt. Wow, what a drop.
And that's in.
That's in, it's done. What a shot.
Matched.
What a shot to win that on. So,
again, So plays a delightful net shot, beautiful net shot. Might have been a winning shot against any other player, but Tago just so skillful. Brings it back across the court to win the match.
Made it look like nothing. So that took 29 minutes. Petaling with a 3-0 lead. And we're going to be hearing from the man himself, Kenichi Tago, who's on court with JD.
All right, we're down here on court with Kenichi Tago, who just had his first match and his first win. Are you happy with the way things went? Your first match here in Malaysia in the Kopiko Purple League, do you think it went well?
Yeah, I'm happy today.
All right, congratulations. I know you're tired first match. I'm going to leave you to your teams. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, Petaling BC. Back to you in the Iber Court commentary box.
Well, let's break down his analysis of the game there. He was happy today. That's essentially it. I don't know if I'd actually go with that. Well, I think you would have expected an easier match.
I think actually a very, very professional performance from Kenichi Tago. No lack of concentration, no strange shots, you know, just very solid and doing what he does well, and not cracking under any pressure from a young and unknown opponent. He just played a very, very solid professional game. Really quite joyful to watch. I mean, some powerful attack at the right times, and some delightful net play as well from Kenichi Tago.
And ended it with this killer shot, which I'm sure we're going to see.
That was the shot of the match for me.
That was the moment of the match for me.
Yes.
But definitely, there were plenty of contenders for shot of the match.
Or maybe the winning point actually just as good. Completely different, of course, the net shot.
Now, if we look at the way he does things, this is how you do it. This is how you take on the best in the world.
And he changed his strategy throughout the match, because he started with some softer shots, some longer shots, and he was getting himself into some difficulties, and then he started playing a little bit more towards the net, center drop shots, center net shots, and then just taking his chances on the lift like this one, where poor lift from So was just pounced on, And
That
again,
was reachable. It's just he had to put a lot of speed on that.
Tago just finds the gap.
And unsurprisingly, a lot more unforced errors for the youngster.
Yeah, and I guess that doesn't really tell the story of how a Tago will force you into errors. I mean,
Well,
we
exactly,
call them unforced errors, but actually So is under pressure a lot from a very consistent and tight opponent. So it's a question of who cracks under pressure first.
It would have been nice, of course, if he had picked up a game, but wasn't to be. So Petaling go into the second match, 3-0 up, and it's Go Jinwei versus Berenta Korobotaven. And there she is, Berenta. Not much known about both of these players. Classic examples of the kind of players that will be highlighted by the Copico Purple League. We've already seen a few names. As I said earlier, Charming Kwan came out again, and literally, it's almost as if she can see the future in terms of mixed doubles. She was absolutely bang on. Now, let's hear from the managers after that first match before we get into the women's singles.
All right, we're down here courtside with the managers. First from Serdang BC, let's talk to the boss, Ong Yu Hawk. New face, tell us a bit about Jinwei's game.
Yeah, he's our key players, and so far he never played before. This is the first game that she played. So we hope that he will be doing well because she's our up and coming star.
I like that. All right. Now over to Lieutenant Colonel Wong. The thing is, for Petaling BC, also a new face. What is Berenta's game all about for your side?
This is the first time we are bringing her into the league, and for this second half. She is now the Selangor top junior player, so I believe it'll be a good platform for her as well. And seriously, I don't know her style of playing, and maybe we can together see how she performs today.
All right. I like that. Right now, back to you in the Ibercourt commentary box. Managers, thank you.
That has to be one of the most honest appraisals of a player that I've heard from a manager. He actually admitted that he doesn't know exactly how good she could be, but he has faith.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the interest will be on Berenta. Go Jinwei has more of a track record, although still a very young player herself. But again, seeing Berenta on the practice court, she was practicing with another junior, male junior, giving as good as she was getting. So I think we can expect an energetic performance and
any specific
composed performance as well.
Any specific weapons that she has that you witnessed on court?
Well, we'll have to see. I can't. I mean, in the practice courts, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to tell where the strengths are because players are maybe trying something out and experimenting a bit. But just from the strokes that I saw, they were very tight, and she moved very well. Also, it's very important for a women's player to be able to cover the court.
She has all those skills, whereas Jinwei has Ong Yu Hawk saying that she's an up-and-coming star. That's pretty good. So let's see if she can live up that billing.
Tactical brain behind her as well.
So it could be a question of one of these youngsters out-positioning the other one. Or it could
Ladies
come down.
and gentlemen, on my right, Petaling BC, represented by Birenta, daughter of A. Katut Parevet. And on my left, Serdang BC, represented by Go Jinwei. Petaling BC to serve, level, play.
It's going to be interesting to see how these early points play out. So far, very nice.
Of course, for any player who's now coming onto the big stage, and the Copico Purple League is a big stage, sometimes takes a little while to find the pace of the game. Go Jinwei has
That was a very nice
a bit more
pickup.
experience.
There was a pickup cross-court drop literally off the floor from Berenta just now on the replay, which was very encouraging indeed. Really not the easiest shot to do, and she seems to be marshalling the baseline. There's another great pickup. So we're already seeing a bit off there, but that solidity you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Go Jinwei having nice consistency right from the word go, making it look very easy, very relaxed, but actually playing her shots with nice precision, control.
And that's what has won the day for so many. But with both of them being young, there is that other element, being eager to win, sometimes snatching at shots.
She went for the cross-court winner. In the end, quite an ambitious shot.
I think that's
Wasn't in a bad position to take it.
right now, I suppose, when you're 4-1 up, it's a different shot to play than if you're behind. It doesn't look, based on this pattern of play, that she's going to be behind. I think she has enough in the tank.
And so far, Go Jinwei just being more clinical in her shots.
And she's in the right place at the right time. And look at that. That's great.
And this is encouraging from Go Jinwei. It is a step up for Berenta, going from a junior champion to the senior game, where the shuttle just flies that little bit faster at you.
Yeah.
And things are a little bit tighter.
Service 2-6.
So she's got the serve back. She's 4 points back. Well, that makes she very impressed with her net play so far.
Service over.
Mid-court, well, I think that was one of the first mid-court shots she's had to play. But as for the rest of them, not too shabby at all.
Berenta trying to push her opponent to the back of the court. You would suppose that the intention is to follow up with the pressuring play with a
with a
short
power shot.
Well, no, a power or a short shot, but her short shots haven't been so tight to the net, so it hasn't caused Go Jinwei any trouble so far.
Service over. 3-8.
Well, she has a decent, comfortable lead.
Service fault call. Service over.
And that is
9-3.
one of those key, crucial turning point places in the game. And it's got to be the worst if you concede it to a service fault. And the net balances that up a little bit, but
4-9.
Ong Yu-Hawk said earlier, 14 and 15-year-olds are being played in this tie. It really is a fantastic platform. Players of that age will just not get any coverage. Oh, that was nice.
Oh, has that gone?
It's out.
It's gone out, yeah.
But it was a very nice idea.
10 game point. Goal.
I think even at a 10-4, 11-4, Berenta can take something from this. Her plan has been quite solid. It's just the execution, at least on two or three of those points.
It looks like she has come with a game plan. She has tried to play long, get her opponent to the back of the court, but Go Jinwei has been very, very solid indeed from that position. In fact, playing some powerful returns and some quite deadly chops and cut shots in response. But this is the first time Berenta has been on the stage.
That's right.
It's the first match. So she has never really fired her weapons in anger, as they say, yet.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what she can come back with in the second game.
I'm just looking at her now, obviously talking to her coaches, and she seems very determined and very focused still. Almost as if, you know, I said 11-4. A lot of people might think, right, okay, well, that was a comprehensive beating, but she actually looks like it's the beginning of the match again. So maybe, just maybe, she can tighten up those winners of her own, which were just a few, I think about a foot off max on the 2 or 3 that we saw. We could have changed that game. So
20 seconds. 20.
but definitely the underdog. She's, you know, not expected to come out blazing and play her best badminton ever. And the league format, of course, gives them a chance to.
No cell phone, please.
The coach.
Cell phone.
Ong Yi-Hok is actually on his phone there, and I think it was caught on camera as well.
Level.
So he's got he's just got reminded by the umpire that the rules apply to everyone in the arena. All mobile phones off. And on that note, Donald, I'm just going to check mine.
He may have been looking for some tactical
Well,
help,
this is the thing.
which is not allowed.
There's
Service over. 1.
He may have also just been sending a tweet saying, hey, she's doing really well, as I thought. Which isn't really tactical information, but it's his pride, and it's good to see. Oh no, she's in charge of her game.
Yeah, she definitely, Go Jinwei has got more penetration with every forehand shot
1.
in a way that Berenta is finding difficult to cope with at the moment.
You do get the feeling that if the shots played to her were slightly easier and maybe slightly less acute, that she could probably return them really well.
2. 1.
But there's a long way to go for both these girls in their badminton careers, and so far they're doing enough good things to impress a lot of people.
Lovely anticipation from Go Jinwei.
Yeah.
She just hung back, and she's
1.
almost like she knew where that shuttle was going to go, and then just
That's
leapt
exactly
forward.
it, yeah.
There we go, straight away. And difficult always to take these shots when they're tumbling like that at the net. Really impressed with the strength of Go Jinwei's wrist, her compact playing style,
Positional movement as well.
and real composure.
And look at that. Disguise drop, absolutely perfect.
4.
We saw So Yik play a similar shot, but not as good as that shot from Go Jinwei.
Now, and she's also doing
5.
said what
1.
advanced players do, which is not just come up with her own winners, but also use the weaknesses of her opponent to her benefit. She's playing shots that she knows are going to move Berenta around.
Service over. 2. 5.
A chance now for Berenta to pull back some of that deficit.
Three. 5.
Just not getting over the net. They're getting
That's
their
interesting.
way back into the game with some errors from Go Jinwei.
It's interesting that on the receiving side of things, she seems to be a little